More drama happening with the Baltimore Ravens. Why have they not signed any outside free agents? And who exactly did the Baltimore Ravens lose in free agency? Because that list, it got a lot longer yesterday. Oh, we getting ready to talk about all that and more. Team, keep it clean. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications on so you can stay up to date with everything going down with the Baltimore Ravens, and leave a like on the video because it helps out a whole lot. Zadarius Washington. He is a special kind of free agent because the Baltimore Ravens have the option to sign him to an extension, or they also have the option to tender him. And let's get the exact time frame that they have to do that. Well, by Wednesday at 4 p.m., the start of the new league year, the Baltimore Ravens must make a decision on what they are going to do with Zadarius Washington. So Wednesday by 4 p.m., it needs to be done. But how does Zadarius Washington feel about this? Well, when you look at his Twitter account, we don't know, because a couple of days ago, he tweeted, bet, just bet. And when somebody tweets bet, that can mean a lot of different things. That could be like, bet, all right, you that's how you want to try me like that? That's how you want to play me? Okay. Or it could be like, bet, all right, hey, I got it. I'm going to make this happen. Bet, I got you. And then he followed that up and said, SOB all 2025 regardless. Now, it's not the SOB that you probably thinking of. He's saying standing on business all 2025 regardless. Whew. That was a close one. Anyway, by that follow-up tweet, and again, remember Adolphe Wade tweets a couple weeks ago, because we'll still see what happens with that. We don't know, but it seems as if with him putting standing on business all 2025 regardless, it would imply that something didn't go in his favor with the Baltimore Ravens. That's what it implies. And again, like I said last time, when we were looking at this whole Adolphe Wade thing, I don't want to hear you're looking too much into it, or you're looking too deep into it. These football players, they know what they're doing. We know what these football players are doing. They do this stuff all the time. They tweet this stuff all the time. And Zadarius Washington is not a big-time tweeter, but that's why it made this that much more significant. So with whatever's going to happen or not going to happen with Zadarius Washington, we will know tomorrow. We will have definitive answers by tomorrow at 4 p.m. So anytime between now and then, we are going to find out exactly what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do with safety Zadarius Washington, who we know. We love Zadarius Washington. That man is a baller. That man, in his first couple of seasons, the season that the Baltimore Ravens first signed him as an undrafted rookie free agent, they gave him the biggest signing bonus out of all the undrafted rookie free agents, and because that showed how much they really valued him. They loved Zadarius Washington. And then when we watched film on him, we were like, okay, he could play some safety, but he's a little versatile. So they had him at safety at first, then they had him at corner, and it seemed like they were trying to really find a role for him because they kind of wanted him on the field, but then he had injuries. And then the next year, he was back, but then he had injuries. So injuries really slowed him up for his first couple of seasons. But then when he got healthy, he was out there, and he was like a sort of like a slot corner. They would have him blitzing a little bit. But then, of course, we remember last year, he was starting off as a corner, not a starting corner, but he was out there on the field as a corner. And then we remember what happened with the Baltimore Ravens safeties, with Marcus Williams, with Eddie Jackson, and it wasn't pretty. But the Ravens were like, you know what, Zadarius? We remember that you know how to play some safety. You're really a versatile player. You can play really anywhere and ball out. So you know what? We're going to put you at safety. And when they did that, the whole defense turned around. Zadarius Washington, 80-29, and Super Duper Kyle, they balled out. But now the Baltimore Ravens have decisions to make with both of them. Because Super Duper Kyle, I mean, they ain't really no decisions. They're going to pay him, whether it be this year, next year, or whenever he's going to get paid. It'd be smarter for the Baltimore Ravens to do that ASAP, because the price is only going to skyrocket. Every single year that Kyle Hamilton is out there playing, it's only going to skyrocket. With Zadarius Washington, you got a decision to make with him right here, right now. Ain't no fifth-year option with Zadarius Washington. It's either you tender him or you sign him to a contract extension. When you sign him to a contract extension, that eliminates anybody else being able to sign him away from you on an offer sheet. But if you tender him, then I believe other teams have an option to sign him away from you on an offer sheet. So we'll see what the Baltimore Ravens do. very, very soon. So when free agency first started, well, the legal tampering period, which again is stupid. I just wish they would get rid of it. But anyway, when the legal tampering period first started, a lot of Ravens fans were excited. We get excited every free agency because we envision who the Baltimore Ravens should sign, who they will sign, who they could sign, and who they might sign. So we think about all of those things, and then when it starts, we're like, all right, we're ready. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And every single year, without fail, the Baltimore Ravens, initially, they don't do anything, and a lot of fans get upset. A lot of fans get frustrated, like, hey, why the Ravens ain't making no moves? Why the Ravens ain't signing this person, that person? And then they watch all these deals happen, and then they're like, oh, that could have been us. Oh, we could have signed him. Oh, we could have got that guy for that much. But it's no surprise because this is what the Ravens do. Not saying it's a good thing and not saying it's a bad thing. This is just them. They are never crazy active at the start of free agency. They let a lot of these teams sign these players to these big deals. Sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. But the Baltimore Ravens, they sit back and wait. Again, not saying it's a good thing, but not saying it's a bad thing. It's just the Ravens thing. So this should come as no surprise to anybody that the Ravens have not done anything in free agency yet. And I know people go, oh, well, we don't got that much money. Like, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. You can make some stuff happen. You can shake some stuff. You can move some stuff around. But this is not anything new to the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't think it should be anything new to you. If it is, then let me explain to you again. This is just what they do annually. So it shouldn't be a shocker. Now, on the flip side of that, the Baltimore Ravens, they lost some players in free agency and some guys, some key contributors, some starters in free agency. And that list was the following. Pat McCarry, he signed with the Jaguars on a deal, 3 years, $39 million. So it has a max value of $39 million. So he could be getting paid around $12 to $13 million per year. So Pat McCarry, he got a nice raise, man. So shout out to him. Brandon Stevens, who, it was a lot of talk about him possibly coming back, possibly leaving. And well, we know how most Ravens fans felt. But he signed a deal with the Jets, 3 years, $36 million. But this one, Malik Harrison, he ended up getting signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. So him and Patrick Queen, they reunited again. So Steelers were like, man, the Ravens, it ain't work out with Patrick Queen and the Ravens. It started toward the end. But obviously they signed Roquan Smith. They weren't going to sign two linebackers. They said, hey, come on, PQ. And now they got Malik Harrison too. Hey, thunder and lightning, baby. Then Chris Board. Chris Board, he signed to the Giants on a 2 year, $6 million deal. Now, this was interesting because I guarantee you. Now, we know Chris Board, he did starting toward the end of the year, and that was a big part of the turnaround with the Baltimore Ravens at linebacker because Trenton Simpson, he just wasn't cutting it for him. He got benched by the Ravens. So they started doing a lot of Chris Board, a lot of Malik Harrison. And I guarantee you, like, I saw some fans complaining, oh, man, why didn't the Ravens keep Chris Board? I guarantee you, if they would have signed Chris Board like they did last year, so many fans would have been complaining like they did last year. Even with him having started toward the end of the season, even after him playing good toward the end of the season, a lot of fans would have complained, oh, that's all we're doing? We're just bringing back Chris Board? That's all the Ravens are going to... I guarantee you so many fans would have complained. So with a signing like this, it's like, for some fans, not everybody, but for a lot of fans, it'll be a lose-lose. Because if they would have re-signed him, fans, oh, that's all you're going to do, Ravens? If they would have let him go, like, oh, Ravens, why you let him go? But it is what it is. And they also let Josh Jones go. He ended up going to the Seahawks. So the Ravens, they lost some starters. They also lost some depth pieces. But these are all guys that you're going to have to replace, whether it be through free agency, whether it be through the draft. But again, we know Ravens, they are not normally big spenders. They have a little thing every now and then, but they're normally not big spenders when it comes to free agency. Their one and only move thus far has been retaining Ronnie Stanley. But there are some possible names that are out there who they could pick up, and they got some interesting decisions to make. We're going to talk about more about that tomorrow, but there's some people that's coming available who Ravens could get their hands on, and they could be very big difference makers for this team. All right, while we still here, before the Ravens start getting super active, let's do some questions from y'all. If you would like to take part in this, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send your question in a DM directly on Patreon. And if you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Let's get into it from from our patron, my guy, Martin. He said, I know normally we get upset during free agency when the Ravens aren't making any big moves, but I'm glad the Ravens focus more on re-signing Ronnie than going out and making a splash. Well, they could do both. But anyway, he said, I don't feel like the team's issue is its players for the most part. One player I do hope the Ravens sign, if they can get him for the right price, is Noah Brown. Oh no, ain't he stay with I thought he stayed with the command. Anyway, he said he is a big body, explosive play guy who does have injury concerns. There's a lot of good wide receivers on the open market right now, and heck, the Ravens could probably get Cooper Kupp for the next to nothing. Yeah, because we'll talk about that later. He said, and could go as high as a 6 if the Rams take on the salary. My only problem with getting Cooper Kupp is that I feel like Bateman and Zay do the exact same role. I think he's a great player, just not what we need at the moment. Well, that is true. And I have said the same exact thing, too. He is a lot of what Zay Flowers does, Rashad Bateman does, Cooper Kupp does a lot of the same. Excellent route runner, really good hands. He's really, really good at getting open. And, I mean, wouldn't you want that in a receiver? Is he the jump ball guy? No, he's not. Now, while I have said I would love for the Ravens to have that, that is not why the Ravens lost in the divisional game to the Bills. But they could certainly use that. They do still have Isaiah Likely. They still got Mark Andrews for now. We'll see what happens with him, but it would be nice to have a receiver like that as well. Now, when you think about Cooper Kupp, though, and the fact that he does do a lot like Rashad Bateman, like Zay Flowers, that would still give defenses headaches. That would still force, that would be a nightmare for defenses. Like, you got to cover all these receivers who all are good at route running, who all are good at getting open. Oh, my goodness. So that would make Lamar's job a little easier, too, because you got somebody else who's good as a playmaker as well. So with Cooper Kupp, I get exactly what you're saying. But then I also think about, too, when you think about the third wide receiver, or 3 wide receivers for the Baltimore Ravens. Before it would be Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar. Even if you take Nelson Aguilar off, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace. But Tylan Wallace is also a free agent. You take him off, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker. Tez Walker, there's potential there. We don't know about it yet. We'll see, because we haven't really seen him too much. We only saw that one play against the Giants at touchdown. But then you think about Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Cooper Kupp. Which would you rather have? Next questions came from my guy Jarvo. He said, I know you're going to get a lot of angry questions about the Ravens not signing any players. He said, but not me, because we might not make a move to that second or third way. See, Jarvo already know what time it is with the Ravens. He said, my question for you is, if you can call a team up from rumors we heard about players wanting out or teams looking to trade a player, who should we call about? I'll say Jair Alexander. They might end up cutting him, really. But anyway, he said, what receiver? But that would be he would be really good corner. Just the injury concerns are the biggest thing. Is he going to be able to come here and get it turned around? I feel like if the Baltimore Ravens got a Jair Alexander, you can't stop there at corner, in my opinion. You can't. If you draft one in the second, the third round or whatnot, I mean, you still got TJ Tampa too, so you got to have, hopefully there's high hopes for him. But Jair Alexander cannot be your only answer at that number 2 corner role because of his injury concerns. That's my only. Can he ball? Yes, he can play. But the injury concerns. So, yeah, I just feel like you couldn't put all your eggs in his basket. But anyway, he said, what receiver should we talk to now? And should we look into Von Miller, who can be a sneaky signing as a pass rusher? There's a lot of pass rushers out there. I mean, Khalil Mack was out. They signed into a 1-year, $18 million deal, though. Whoa, I said, whoa. So, these pass rushers, boy, they ain't going to come cheap. Von Miller, he could if he's healthy. As far as pass rushers, you got Zadarius Smith, there's Matt Judon. A lot of the pass rushers, they don't really move the needle, in my opinion, like that. You can have more depth, more quality depth. That never hurts. But it's really, tricky there. And he also said, what are your thoughts on Marlon Humphrey's offseason moves that he suggested? He said, re-sign Ronnie. Well, check. They did that. He also said re-sign Brandon Stevens. With Brandon Stevens, if the Baltimore Ravens had got somebody to play in front of him, to be the number 2 corner, and they re-signed Brandon Stevens, I wouldn't have been mad at that. If Brandon Stevens was more of a reserve role, then I wouldn't not have been mad at that. Because, again, very, very good tackler. Again, you got to work on getting his head turned around. I know that. But, yeah, if he was not the starter and they re-signed him, okay, cool. But, obviously, that didn't happen. He's with the Jets. That's fine. He said Devontae Adams is probably pricey. Yeah, he know the Ravens. He know the Ravens wasn't paying no big money for Devontae Adams. He said, so realistically, Cooper Kupp as wide receiver 3. See, he's saying it. Marlon Humphrey saying it. You got somebody on the team saying it. So I like that. He said, if Coop the price makes sense, then boom. If Cooper Kupp price makes sense, then boom. He said, I don't know Matt Judon's market, but boom. Oh, he trying to get his boy back. See, again, solid depth, and he's somebody that, again, got plenty of experience in the league and whatnot. He wouldn't get 99 no more because we still got a Dafe away. But it'd be quality depth and somebody who can start too. Maybe it's just me. But again, Matt Judon, he don't move the needle for me. I don't know. But anyway, he said, draft the best available cornerback. Oh, he know his time coming up. He said, or pass rusher with the first 2 picks. Later round, find a guy that just loves football. So that he was just like, whatever for the later rounds too. So not bad. So that's cool. And he said Steelers made that move. So my question for you, what do the Ravens do next? So he must have been, I don't know if he was talking about DK Metcalf. I don't know if he's talking about Darius Slay. Because Steelers been making quite a few moves. Ravens is gonna do what Ravens do. Regardless of what Steelers do, Ravens gonna do what Ravens do. I'm not sure exactly what move you were referring to though. And he had also said, this is too late for this one because he's talking about how he was listening to Purple Rain back on March 6th, and he said as they discussed the current free agents that were available, he said they made a point when it came to DK Metcalf. As much as we would have loved DK, will the Ravens be willing to pay $30 million a year? Oh yeah, we knew that. Knew that wasn't gonna happen at all. Like Raven, no, they. He said we got to re-sign Ronnie, who's looking at $20 million a year, and they did that. He said Tyler, who might get $30 million a year. Oh, Tyler Linderbaum, okay, and Kyle for $30 to $40 million. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. He said, and this is not including likely Zay Flowers, Adolphe Wade Bateman. So, use paying top dollar for these players. Us playing top dollar for these players will be tough. Oh yeah, it's still, you can make it happen. There's always ways around it and stuff. And with Rashad Bateman, he's already on his second contract, so you could take him out of the equation. Zay Flowers is in his 3rd year. So he got his 3rd year, 4th year, and I'm sure they're gonna pick up the 5th year option. So that's, you ain't gotta worry about those for a couple years. He said they're also saying the only way we could get these players is for a discount price and then playing for a contender team like the Ravens. Tyler, you think Tyler Super Duper Kyle gonna take a discount? The players should never, ever take discounts on their first contracts, because on their second contracts, on their first big contract, bigger contracts, because all of them contracts are big, especially when you compare it to us regular people. Anyway, players should never take hometown discounts or give hometown discounts when it comes to re-signing for their second contract. Reason being, because if you give a hometown discount when you're signing your first big contract in the NFL, then you're always going to be forced to give discounts. NFL is not loyal. NFL is a business, and these players, they understand that. That's why when I know as fans be like, oh yeah, hey, come on, man, give us a hometown discount. Give us a break, man. You love playing here in the city. You love playing for us. You love playing for the team. All that is cool, but this is their income. You wouldn't want, if you had started a job and you were there for a year, a couple years or whatnot, and you were due to make a significant jump in salary, you wouldn't want other employees and stuff to, hey, man, hey, girl, take a hometown discount to stay with the company. You're supposed to make this much, but no. You just end up making this much. You're still getting a raise, right? You're not going to make as much as you could possibly get. And in the future, when it's time to re-up again, yeah, they're always going to ask you to take a discount from that point on, because that's how you started. So that would be a bad move for them to take a discount. Obviously, for us as fans, it's selfishly thinking, it would be a good move for us, how we look at it, but it would be a terrible move for them to do that. Next question came from my guy ChefLyfe family. He said, hope all is good, brother. At the time of me writing this, bodies are flying everywhere, and I just got wind of the DK Metcalf situation. He said, shaking my head, it just had to be them Steelers. But anyway, I know we've been struggling for a while to build our identity at pass rush, and the Lions just released Zadarius Smith. Do you think the Ravens should go after someone familiar in free agency or head into the draft? Again, Zadarius Smith will be cool. If they got him, all right, cool. It'd be a very familiar face, somebody who you drafted. You didn't re-sign. He went to free agency and made a lot of money. He went to the Vikings. He went to the Packers. He went to the Lions. He went to the Browns. You thought that he was going to the Ravens a couple of years ago, but then he ended up changing his mind. So that was that. So, I mean, you could. That'd be cool. Again, needle moving, not necessarily, but if they went to the draft, I think you can't, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, you cannot draft a pass rusher for depth. If you are going to the draft, you drafting a guy that's ready right here, right now. Not a project, not he'll take a couple years to, no. If you get a pass rush in the draft, you're getting him early, and you're getting somebody that's going to be out there a whole lot. So that's just my opinion on that. He said, appreciate you as always, Ingraven. The family is growing every day, and like my boy said the other day, you do an amazing job on your channel with our team and updates. Got to keep one earbud in at work. Especially during free agency, man, because you never know. Stuff is crazy, man. He said, take your flowers, my guy. No Uno reverse card, LOL. Appreciate you, ChefLyfe family. Next question came from my guy Marcelo. He said, after the surprising trade of Steelers who acquired DK Metcalf and extended him for 5 years, $150 million, how or what should the Ravens do to match that? You can't. You can't match that. Like, Ravens ain't signing no receiver to that big money. Ravens, Ravens don't pay. They don't pay no receivers. They pay a lot of other positions for sure, but receivers, not one of them. The whole Odell Beckham Jr., that was a one-off. That 1 year, $18 million deal, that was a big one-off for them. He said, can it be Cooper Kupp? It could be. Could it be Stephon Diggs? It could be. Could it be Keenan Allen? It could be, because those guys are all still available. He did say, now he sent this on March 9th, so this was before the legal tampering period began. He said, or even Chris Godwin. Well, the Bucs they re-signed him, so he's off the table. But those other three are still available. Cooper Kupp not a free agent yet. Stephon Diggs is, and Keenan Allen is. He said, or do you think there is nothing the Ravens are going to do with the money they have? Either way, I would love for them to add a wide receiver in free agency and fix the edge, rusher, and cornerback situations in the draft. Yeah, I would expect the Ravens to do the same thing as far as the wide receiver room. A lot of people thinking Cooper Kupp is going to be that guy. But the Ravens, yeah, they got options. Basically, they got options with some good route runners. Again, everybody who you mentioned, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, all good route runners who got good hands. And Keenan Allen is the one. He's like 6'1". He ain't even that tall. But he does have a big frame. But all of them pretty much do the same thing. They run good routes, got good hands. Would be nice. Reliable handed, short-handed wide receivers that you could add that could be playmakers as well. You said watching every video you post daily. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, appreciate that, Marcelo. Thank you.